What screams, "I am upper class"? Pulling up perfectly beautiful 100,000 floors to put in different 100,000 floors. I worked for folks who did this. Once pulled 80,000 worth of cabinets out of a billionaire's house that had been installed 3 years earlier. Dude just wanted to make a change. Having a butler's pantry. You just have 2 kitchens, admit you are rich. Calling your yard, the grounds. And your dogs, the hounds. Using summer as a verb, especially with the prepositional phrase in the Hamptons. Being offhand about things that are very expensive for the plebeians. I've found that many rich people are less obnoxious about showing off wealth than are people who are almost rich that feel they have to match up to people who make more than they do. Going to USC without financial aid or scholarships. Not actually flaunting your wealth is a huge sign. A lot of people try to look expensive, but people who are upper class often try to hide their wealth. Having a favorite restaurant in multiple countries. I started working for a very low-key millionaire a few years ago, and that was the biggest clue that we had very different lifestyles. When he started talking about spending a long weekend in France just to eat at a particular restaurant where in the Midwest US, my mind got blown a little bit. Dressing your 5-year-old in a Canadian Goose jacket. Chicago. Hosting parties every night all summer in your house while you spy on the married woman across the river that used to love you, waiting to meet someone at those parties who knows the married woman so that you can be reintroduced and fall in love again and regain what was lost. Living on an estate granted to your family by Queen Mary. Sitting on your boat, on a Tuesday. In water, of course. Sitting on your boat in the driveway on a Tuesday, is middle class. Thanks for the silver and gold. Now I can go get a boat and sit on it next Tuesday, in the water. And sitting on a non-seaworthy boat in your lawn on a Tuesday is redneck. I remember when I went to uni. I opted to stay in the most expensive halls. I was just young and stupid with money, so I ended up living with a bunch of affluent farmers and the like. As a city boy from a working-class family, I was well out my depth, and some of the conversations I had went straight over my head. I remember one girl talking about how a private detective had followed her dad for a while. She said we could just about see his car at the bottom of the drive. I stopped her, and said, "What do you mean you could barely see his car?" She explained it was a long driveway. The thought of having a driveway leading up to your house so long that you could barely see a car at the end of it just blew my tiny mind. That depends on which country you are from. In the UK, being upper class is not about money but having come from the right family. Wearing tailor-fitted custom clothes. True wealth don't mess with labels and all the things lower class folks try to prove worth by wearing. Bespoke clothing was what I meant. Pre-coffee me forgot there was a word for what I was trying to describe. I just knew what it looks like and the type to wear it. Just take a week off. Defining yourself as well off and upper middle class rather than saying you're rich and upper class. My brother's friend stole his grandma's credit card and racked up $2,500 in charges on it towards various Xbox store shit like Fortnite and Forza currency and a bunch of pre-orders on new games. I was like, wow, he must have gotten that Xbox taken away and was probably murdered shortly after. My brother told me all that they told the kid was, "You should have just asked us." Upper class bullshit. Your roommate's not understanding why one saved leftovers. My parents both comes from homes where you don't waste anything. The grandparents lived on an island in the middle of the Baltic Sea during the rationing of World War II and you couldn't just order more meat at a whim. But the mates complained about Tupperware cluttering the fridge, taking up place from cooling their waters and booze. Also not being able to get into their head that you could in fact be too low on cash not to be able to treat oneself with different actions or products. When you use a mini trash bag instead of just a grocery bag for your little bathroom garbage can. I come from a rather wealthy family and I've noticed a pattern. They never say they're rich, they always say the exact same phrase. We live comfortably every time. When someone gets guacamole on their Chipotle burrito without hesitation. Not being bothered when your things break. If you hate your job, just quit, go back to school, and become an engineer/doctor/lawyer. It's not that hard, geez. Yeah, I get it, some people manage to pull it off. The earlier you try, the better. People here are confusing rich with upper class.